Heartbreak has a way of slowing time. It's that strange ache that makes the morning light feel heavier, the silence in your room louder. It's the pause in your life when you realize something you held so close is no longer yours. At first, you fight the feeling, telling yourself you're okay, pretending to move on faster than your heart is ready. But if you sit with it long enough, you begin to see that heartbreak is not just an ending, it's a teacher. And if you listen carefully, it teaches lessons you could never have learned in any other way. The first lesson is that love does not always mean forever, and that's okay. Sometimes we meet people who are meant to be part of our journey, not our destination. They shape us, teach us, and then move on. And while we wish they could stay, their absence pushes us toward the version of ourselves we were meant to become. The second lesson is that healing is not a straight line. Some days you'll feel strong and free, and the next you'll find yourself remembering their laugh, their scent, or the way they looked at you, and that's normal. Healing isn't about erasing the past, it's about making peace with it, so it no longer has power over you. The third lesson is that your worth does not depend on who chooses to love you. The end of a relationship often tricks us into thinking we weren't enough. But the truth is, your value is not determined by someone else's capacity to see it. You are worthy because you exist, because you breathe, because your heart still beats after being broken. The fourth lesson is that pain is a bridge to empathy. When your heart has been shattered, you suddenly understand others in a deeper way. You can see their silent battles, hear their unspoken pain, and you learn to hold people a little closer, a little softer. What feels like a loss is often just life clearing the space for something better. A love that is deeper, a joy that is fuller, or a purpose that is truer. Heartbreak hurts because it's a door closing, but we forget that another one is waiting to open. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you wiser. Heartbreak will change you, but you get to choose how. And when you choose growth, you realize that the broken pieces don't just heal. They form a stronger. Love not lasting forever is one of the hardest truths to accept. We grow up hearing stories where love conquers all, where the people who meet are destined to stay together until their last breath. So when someone we love deeply walks away, it feels like the story was cut short, as if something went terribly wrong. But what if love was never meant to always end with forever? What if its true purpose was to transform us in the time it was given? Sometimes a person comes into our life for a season, not a lifetime. In that season, they may teach us to open our heart, to trust again, to see ourselves through kinder eyes. They might challenge us, inspire us, or even hurt us. But in doing so, they shape the person we are becoming. The love we shared wasn't wasted just because it didn't last forever. It served its purpose, even if that purpose was simply to help us take the next step in our journey. The problem is, we often measure love by its duration instead of its depth. We think if it ended, it must not have been real. But real love can be intense and life-changing, even if it doesn't survive the test of time. The fact that it ended doesn't erase the moments of joy, the late-night conversations, the laughter that made your chest ache, or the comfort you felt in their presence. Those moments are yours to keep. They are woven into who you are now. When we cling to the idea that love should always last forever, we set ourselves up for unnecessary suffering. We fight against reality, trying to hold on to something that's already slipping away. And in that struggle, we forget that it's possible to love someone fully and still let them go. We forget that people grow in different directions, and sometimes the most loving thing we can do is to accept that their path no longer runs alongside ours. Letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you have the courage to honor what you had without demanding it be something it's not. It means recognizing that the ending is not the loss of love. it's the completion of its chapter. Some stories are short but unforgettable, and their beauty lies in their brevity. When you understand that, you stop mourning the length of love and start cherishing its impact. And that's when you realize love was never about forever. It was about changing you in ways you never thought possible. Healing after heartbreak is rarely as tidy as we imagine. We expect it to be like climbing a staircase, each day taking us one step further from the pain, each week making us a little stronger. But the truth is, healing is more like the ocean tide. Some days you feel the waves pulling away, leaving you with calm waters and a sense of peace. Other days the tide rushes back in unexpectedly, crashing into you with memories you thought you had already let go of. You might wake up one morning feeling light, laughing with friends, believing you've finally moved on. Then a song plays, a scent drifts past you, or you see someone who looks like them, and suddenly you're pulled back into the ache as if no time has passed. That doesn't mean you're failing at healing. It means you're human. The heart is not a machine that can be reprogrammed overnight. It holds on to feelings, both beautiful and painful, until it's truly ready to release them. The problem is, we often treat healing like a race. We tell ourselves, I should be over this by now, or why am I still thinking about them? But those thoughts only add pressure, making us feel broken for taking too long. The truth is, there's no deadline for mending a heart. Some wounds close quickly, others take months or years, and that's okay. Healing isn't about rushing forward. It's about allowing yourself to move at the pace your heart needs. One of the most powerful things you can do in this process is to be gentle with yourself. On the days when the sadness returns, instead of judging it, acknowledge it. Say to yourself, it's okay to feel this. It's part of the process. Because healing isn't erasing what happened. It's learning to live with it in a way that no longer controls you. Over time, the moments of pain grow smaller and further apart. The memories lose their sharpness. The heaviness in your chest lifts, replaced by a quiet strength you didn't have before. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll hear that song, pass that place, or see their face in a crowd. And instead of breaking, you'll simply breathe. That's when you'll know you've healed, not because you forgot, but because you've learned to carry the memory without the weight. One of the deepest wounds heartbreak leaves behind is the belief that we weren't enough. When someone we love walks away, it's easy to translate their absence into a judgment on our worth. We replay conversations in our head, searching for the moment we messed up. We compare ourselves to others, wondering if someone else could have made them stay. Without even realizing it, we start tying our value to how much someone else chooses to love us. But your worth is not up for debate. It does not rise or fall based on who stays in your life. It does not depend on someone else's ability to recognize your beauty, your kindness, or your heart. You were whole before they came into your life, and you are still whole now that they're gone. The end of a relationship does not diminish you. It simply removes someone who was never meant to be the keeper of your worth. The danger of letting others define our value is that it makes us live like we're constantly auditioning for love. We start altering our personality, softening our opinions, or hiding our flaws, all in the hope of being chosen. But love that requires you to shrink yourself is not love. It's approval wearing a mask. And approval can be taken away the moment you stop fitting the mold someone else created for you. When you truly understand your worth, you stop chasing people who can't see it. You stop begging for love from places that only offer crumbs. You realize that someone walking away doesn't mean you're unlovable. It simply means they weren't capable of loving you in the way you deserve. And that's not a reflection of your lack. It's a reflection of their capacity. It's like standing in front of a masterpiece and walking away because you don't understand its beauty. The painting doesn't become less valuable because one person couldn't see it. It remains priceless. In the same way, you remain priceless whether or not someone recognizes it. So let their leaving remind you not of what you lack, but of what you are whole enough and worthy simply because you exist. When you anchor your worth within yourself, no heartbreak can take it from you. And in that unshakable knowing, you find a love far greater than any you've lost, the love you have for yourself. Pain has a way of softening the edges of our heart. Before heartbreak, we might look at the world with a certain distance, assuming that the struggles of others are far from our own. But once you've felt your own heart crack open, once you've carried the weight of sleepless nights and unanswered questions, something shifts inside you. You begin to notice the quiet pain in other people's eyes. You start hearing the things they're not saying. You realize that everyone, in their own way, is carrying something heavy. Heartbreak can strip away the layers of pride and judgment we often build around ourselves. Before, we might have been quick to dismiss someone's sadness or tell them to just move on. But when you've been in that dark place yourself, you know it's not that simple. You understand that healing takes time, and sometimes all a person needs is someone to sit with them in the silence without trying to fix it. This is how pain becomes a bridge to empathy. It teaches you to hold space for others, to listen with your whole heart, and to offer kindness without conditions. You learn that compassion isn't about having the perfect words, it's about showing up. It's about letting someone know, I've been there too, and I'm here with you now. There's a strange beauty in realizing that your suffering wasn't meaningless. The very thing that broke you becomes the thing that allows you to connect with others in a deeper, more human way. You start to see that we're all connected through our wounds, and in that connection, there is healing. Over time, you may even find that the empathy heartbreak gave you becomes one of your greatest strengths. It shapes the way you treat your friends, your family, even strangers. You give more grace, more patience, more understanding, because you remember what it felt like to wish someone had given it to you. And maybe that's one of the hidden purposes of pain, to break us open, not so we remain shattered, but so we can be rebuilt with a heart that feels more deeply. A heart that not only beats for itself, but also for the people around it. In that way, heartbreak doesn't just change you, it expands you. It turns your personal pain into a gift the world desperately needs. Endings often feel like the universe has closed a door and locked it forever. In the moment, it's hard to believe that anything good could come from the emptiness left behind. You look at the space where love once lived and all you can see is loss. But what we often forget is that life rarely leaves a space empty for long. Every ending creates room for new beginnings, for unexpected opportunities, for growth you didn't know you were capable of. When someone leaves, it can feel like they've taken the best parts of your life with them. But in time, you begin to realize they also left behind something priceless: freedom. Freedom to rediscover who you are without them. Freedom to choose differently. Freedom to write a new chapter without the limits of the old one. It's in this space of uncertainty that transformation happens, because you're no longer holding on to what was. You're slowly opening up to what could be. It's not easy at first. You might resist the idea of moving forward, clinging to the comfort of familiar memories. You replay moments, wondering if you could have done something, anything to keep them. But the truth is, some endings are necessary. They make space for what's meant for you, even if you can't see it yet. It's like a gardener pruning a plant. Cutting away certain parts allows new life to grow. One day, without even realizing it, you'll meet someone, discover a passion, or find yourself in a place you never imagined. And you'll see the connection between that moment and the ending you once mourned. You'll realize that if the old door had stayed open, you might never have walked through the new one. This is the quiet gift of heartbreak. It shifts your path. It forces you to explore corners of yourself you didn't know existed. It gives you the courage to dream differently, and sometimes it leads you to a love that feels deeper, a joy that feels fuller, or a purpose that feels more true than anything you've known before. So, while endings hurt, they're also the reason beginnings exist. And when you finally step into what's next, you might just look back and whisper, "Thank you," to the very ending that once broke you, because without it, you wouldn't be standing where you are now. Heartbreak will always leave its mark, but it doesn't have to leave you broken. Every tear, every sleepless night, every ache in your chest carries within it a lesson that shapes who you are becoming. Love that didn't last still holds value. Healing that takes time still counts as progress. Your worth remains untouched, no matter who stays or leaves. Pain can open your heart wider than you ever thought possible, and endings can quietly pave the way for new, beautiful beginnings. You may not see it while you're in the middle of it, but one day you'll look back and realize the heartbreak didn't just change your life, it transformed you. And in that transformation, you'll find not only the strength to move forward, but the wisdom to love again, with a heart that is stronger, softer, and more open than ever before.